Welcome to the Rotary Club of Novato. This is Marty's Moment, where you get to learn more about our members. I am past President Marty Wickenheiser. Please join me in welcoming our special guest today. Hello, everyone. We're here today with Ron Harness, our current president, and we are going to get to know him a little bit better. Ron? Yes? Who sponsored you into Rotary?
It was Grace Wong.
Oh.
Yeah, we had just moved to Novato, and we ran into a neighbor on our street, a Chinese lady, who invited us to a party that Grace was at. And so during that party, we just sort of started a friendship. And at one point I said, "What do you do for fun?" And she said, "Well, I spend all my free time in Rotary. You want to come to a meeting?" I said, "I don't even know what Rotary is." "Sure."
That is wonderful, because I do believe that our club hit the jackpot when we got you and your wife, Payan. Am I saying that right?
You're saying it right in that you hit the jackpot when they got her.
Well, the two of you have been amazing. You jumped right in, and you have, what I remember about you is that you have a deep understanding of the workings of Rotary, some of which still confuse me, and I've been in 20 years.
Right.
But what's your favorite thing about Rotary?
Well, that's it. It's the international part.
Yes.
Once you start traveling internationally for Rotary and you realize how big the organization actually is, and you can see that our club is nice, but it's not really the working part of Rotary. The international part is.
Yes.
And it's very impressive, the things they do. So that's what my interest is now, is to try to make sure our club can survive so that they can support the international part.
Where did you grow up?
Oh, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, a little bit south of where you grew up.
That's correct.
Yeah, and the winters were always so bitter that I just dreamt of leaving there any time I could.
Yes. I just learned that you have had a bit of a history in car racing. And I just saw the movie Ford versus Ferrari.
Right.
Excellent. Have you seen it yet?
You didn't see me in the movie? Yeah, once I moved to California, I have two sons, and we did everything together, water skiing, biking, hiking, anything you can think of. And they were at the age where we had cars. Mm-hmm. So when I moved to California, I realized I could race here because there are 3 internationally respected racetracks nearby. So I got into racing here so that I'd have that to share with my sons, even though they were still in Alabama and Georgia.
Oh, I see.
So it was a little late in life to be getting into racing. I was about 55, 57, something like that, and racing against guys that were 20 years old. So
yes.
It was late, but I did it for 6 or 7 years. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Great.
What kind? NASCAR?
I did live in Alabama for a while. I guess that's fine. It was just...
Was that a stupid question?
It was a great question.
Ron, what kind of racing did you do?
It's called club racing, and it's amateurs.
Oh.
And anybody, including you, could get a car and go race at these tracks. You do have to go through some kind of a process to learn how to handle the car. Mm-hmm. But I had a late 80s BMW that I raced, and it was great fun. It was a lot of excitement. It was way too expensive after a while. And I finally tired of it after 6 or 7 years.
And did you have a horrible crash once?
Yeah, I've given Mike a couple of photographs. I've got a before and an after photograph of my car. I had a pretty bad crash. It rolled over multiple times.
Wow.
And was completely destroyed.
For the benefit of our audience, Ron, why don't you tell us what you do for a living?
Sure. Well, like a lot of people my age, as little as possible. But I was trained as an engineer and worked for one corporation for 25 years, which was a good corporation when I started there and a very terrible one by the time I left.
Oh.
So Payan and I started our own business, and we help people import metal products from Taiwan.
I know that you've brought a lot of new projects to the World Community Service Committee.
Right. Yep.
And I've been on that for probably since I joined. I love it. And you're now you have the flexibility to take a lot of trips.
Well, we do take a few, a couple a year maybe. And I mentioned that I'm really focused on international, but I know a lot of people have just as much interest in the local good that Rotary does.
Oh.
And I support that just as well. But my personal interest is more in the international arena, because once you go to these other countries and you see how poor people are, how they live in the dirt above the town, and they really need our help, that just that always balances me again and makes me think we need to work harder on these projects.
Well, for example, tell me about a project that really touched you.
Well, we went to Bogota, Colombia, and it's an international city, just, large city. But above the town on the hill, people just live in the dirt, and they're mostly war refugees. They don't have anything. And so our projects there were to give microcredit loans to them. And we were able to see the transition from people that before they had the loans and after they had the loans, and it really made a difference in their lives.
What's the next trip you're going to go on?
So most Rotarians have heard of H2 Open Doors. Right. Our club, Rotary Club in Novato, is sponsoring an installation in Guatemala this year. So in January we're going to go down there. I think there's 29 people on the trip total, so it's a pretty big trip, and we're going to install a couple of the water sunspring systems there.
Very
in
nice.
Guatemala.
Very nice. You had mentioned about the perceived competition between international projects and local projects, and I think that one of the benefits of being in a large club like ours is everyone has the opportunity to find something that really, really speaks to them.
Right.
And in that first year of membership is the hardest, when you're kind of trying to find where you fit in our club.
Right.
How long have you been a Rotarian?
We started in 2010.
Okay.
So 9 or 10 years. And I had the question when I joined is, how do you help all these people? There's so many people that need help. So during the first year, I just latched onto a project that was successful to see how they did it. That was Project Amigo. So we started going to Mexico immediately and joined that effort. And I ended up on their board of directors and other things that were a lot of work. But good example of the kind of good that Rotary can do.
Yes. Back to your wife, also a vital member of our club.
She is.
How did you two meet?
Well, I was working internationally trying to find suppliers that were in Asia, and it turned out she was working in the United States selling computer stuff here. But we met in a town called Kaohsiung, Taiwan. We just met there and started our relationship, started our friendship.
Very nice. No children?
We don't have children. We have beagles.
You have beagles, right. Ron, thank you so much. Nice to get to know a little different side of you from the meetings.
Right.
And I will ask the audience very quickly if you all have any questions that you'd like me to ask in the future, any direction, please let me know at a club meeting. And remember, you may be next.